Homelessness in America reached record high numbers earlier this year.
Homelessness has been one of the major problems in America. It is prominent in nearly every major city in the country. Downtown Atlanta has always been the hub for the homeless in Georgia, but as each year passes, the homeless crisis has been spreading outward into the smaller cities surrounding Atlanta, even in our city of Kennesaw. But are these individuals truly lost souls? Or is there still a spark of hope inside of them? A sign of things to get better? To answer this question, I decided to investigate how prominent homelessness has been in Kennesaw. And luckily, I wasn't the only one asking. The Marietta Daily Journal has been writing about this issue since the beginning of the year, and after reading one of their articles, I decided to ask one of their reporters. I was able to talk to investigator Hunter Riggle about his time on investigating the homeless, and he was able to give me excellent information.
The pastor, his name is Hayward Bass. He runs the homeless ministry. So before I went for the first time, I called him up and was like, hey, me and a photographer would love to come by, interview you, interview your volunteers, interview the homeless people. He was like, sure. And he told us when the meal times were. The rule is basically like, at a certain time, they let homeless people onto the property, and there's an hour where they can eat, they can wash up, can hang out and charge their phones and do all that. But then after a certain point, they get kicked off the property. And a lot of them hang out. Some of them, live in the woods nearby, but a lot of them also just walk a block away or sit on the sidewalk. But yeah, that is a rule they have where it's like, you can only be on the property during meal times. I interviewed a woman once. She lives near the church and she's got 2 little kids, and sometimes there's someone walking by who's maybe like on drugs and is like yelling, and so there's definitely people who are not happy about the church, who think that they are attracting or enabling these people to continue living in the camps.
After talking to investigator Riggle, I now had a location to help start my investigation. Shady Grove Baptist Church has always been a haven for the homeless for years, for they are a source of food and supplies for them. And while arriving there, I saw that the homeless had a sort of camaraderie with each other, a community in a way. But there were still those on the lone wolf path. When I started talking to these people, I did have those who were hostile towards me, not wanting to speak to me. But I was able to find those willing to tell their story. Tell me how long they have been homeless.
For about 4 months now. 7 months.
My 10th year anniversary.
And how they wound up homeless.
Mom passed away. She was my last living relative that was close to me in Georgia. So I don't have anybody else that can help take care of me. So
work ran out and I was staying in an extended stay motel. I just couldn't find another job that would pay my rent.
Decided to cheat on me with another man, and she got pregnant with another man's seed while she was married to me.
Their stories were tragic, but they weren't gone just yet. They still believed in themselves and in others.
I'm a helper. I'm a cancer man. Up Bells Ferry, left on Bear Parkway, across to 41, right, and then down 41 to Bells Ferry again, and then left. That's a 9-mile circuit. I was the mechanic, and I fixed people's bikes. If I have it, Jack, I just give it, because I've had a good life.
The people I spoke to have faced many hardships since becoming homeless, but it still wasn't enough to break them, and they still had something to keep moving them forward. They still had hope. I used to look at the homeless as helpless individuals, but they are still driven to keep on fighting, to keep on living. For in their heart and in their soul, there is still a spark of hope still inside of them.
I don't know of any success stories where they get out of it and then they become, start making 6 figures and buy a house and become successful. Like, I think for most of them, success looks like, I'm not on the street, I'm not in a shelter, but maybe I'm in a hotel room or an apartment, or I'm just barely scraping by. So Success is kind of relative, right?
Hey, Bird, have you ever known me to be pessimistic?
Pessimistic? No.
Not even part of my vocabulary.